Hotel workers of Reddit, what is the worst thing you have found in a room after a guest stay? A USB drive with 2 different versions of their obituary that they typed up for themselves. Not a hotel worker, but I found a webcam in the air vent. This is the worst thread. Just checked into a hotel. It's 3 AM. Frick if they can have the video of my naked butt. 3 guys in one room left all of their windows open and lights on overnight in the summer. I have never seen so many different types of bug flying around the room. It was terrifying. We ran in spraying bug killer like our lives depended on it, then ran out and left the room for an hour. We came back to a floor that was almost black with dead bugs. I can still hear the crunching. It was a family retreat kids' birthday party. The adults were getting s-faced while the kids were in the presidential suite raising heck. They had decided to have a fully stocked ice cream bar and allowed the kids to do what they wanted with it. M&Ms crushed into the carpet, chocolate footprints on the walls, whipped cream fricking everywhere, fruit punch spilled on the bed. In total we had to charge them about $7K in damages, which they took to court, because they thought the cleanup would be included. That's why we did it at a hotel. They also smashed glass all over our dog hiking trail, which I had to clean up. Cleanup included. What a deal. One of my favorite hotel stories, not a room, but the pool. It's late evening, and a woman comes angrily into our lobby from the pool with 3 children and says, "You guys need to do something about what's going on out there," and gestures to the pool area. I look at her inquisitively and she just says, "Go look, you'll see." I walk outside and it's pretty immediately clear the couple in the hot tub are discreetly having sex. I approach just enough to get their attention and say, "Hi guys, I know everyone's here to have a good time tonight, but we got a complaint about some hot and heavy activity in the hot tub. They are clearly intoxicated, but apologize and say it will stop." A few minutes later, the phone rings. It's the woman who complained before calling from her room which faces the pool. They're still at it. You need to do something. Children are staying in this hotel. I go back outside and sure enough, now that the spectators are gone, they are freaking it out in the hot tub. I go back out, tell them to get out. They start giving me the story. It's their anniversary. They're very sorry. We won't have any more problems with them. etc etc. I foolishly let them stay in the hot tub. 10 minutes later, phone rings. Seriously, same lady. I look out the window. They are both totally naked. I'm sorry, Mom. I've warned them. I'm calling the police. Police arrive and head out to the pool. The officer handles it like a pro. He's very nice. Lets them know that it's inappropriate. But he doesn't want to ruin what's clearly a fun weekend for them both. But they need to go to their room and not come out for the rest of the night. They are to stay in their room until tomorrow morning. No excuses. The couple thanks him for his understanding and promises they'll behave and stay in their room. The officer and I wind up chatting and laughing about it all, and he asks if he can grab a cup of coffee in our lobby while he fills out his report. Of course he can. He's sitting in the lobby. I'm back to work, and I hear him say, "Oh, you've got to be freaking kidding me." I'm shocked at the broken quietness as I see him jump up and exit the lobby, right to the hot tub, where the same couple is back in the hot tub making out. I can only assume they took the stairs at the end of the hall out to the parking lot and around to the pool. Arrested them both. They came back Monday afternoon. They were arrested on Friday night to collect their property. They came back Monday to have sex in the hot tub. A bear. First, you gotta understand that a lot needs to happen for this to occur. Our lowest floor was still about 1.5 meters from the ground, and each outside room had a balcony rail. However, a guest had decided to want to unload his motorcycle from his truck and leave the ramp down. So, I'm assuming he could ride the bike up when he was done. The guest that was staying in the room had room service, decided to leave the food uncovered and the balcony doors open, and later went to the hotel pool spa to relax. Upon returning, they had gone to a reception and said that there was a bear in the room. Puzzled, we quietly approached the room and slowly opened the door. Lo and behold, there was a bear eating room service and making a mess of my afternoon. We called Parks Canada to deal with it. Guest was not charged a cleaning fee. TLDR, a bear used a car as a ramp to get into a room at the property. Smarter than the average bear. A bachelorette party came through, and after they left the next night we had a new rule that charges a $400 glitter fee. But I mean, you couldn't see the floor, so much glitter. It's been a few years and you can probably still find glitter in the carpet throughout the hotel. Love this. We had a no rose petal rule at the romantic B&B. Things stain sheets. Woman with misophobiia, fear of germs, stayed with us. She never let the cleaning ladies into the room as she preferred to clean it herself. One day she leaves to go out and removes the "Do Disturb" sign. Maid calls down and says the room has a strong chemical odor and found bags of pee and poop in the drawers. A little late, but I have to. Found bloody parrot feathers all over a room. They claimed it was service animal. It wasn't, and had gotten too stressed and pulled all of its plumage out. The guest tried to blame the hotel for noise. We charged them for the cleanup. Was balancing month end one day when the front was swarmed with police cars. They raided a room with no notice to us at the front desk. Turned out a pimp was cooking in one of rooms with 2 prostitutes and a dog. There was a short standoff before everyone was arrested. Their car was seemingly forgotten about in the parking lot, but it disappeared a week later. We were unable to charge for damages since all of their cards were stolen. I worked security for a while at a really large hotel. 2 stand out in my mind. The first, a guest that went out by ambulance because of some allergic reaction. What the guest claimed, at least. The room was full of black and bloody diarrhea. The smell was horrible. I have never smelled crap like that and hope to never again. Gag. The second wasn't something left but an assistance call. Elderly man was unresponsive when we got there. We used a defibrillator on him till the ambulance arrived and he actually survived. He came back to the hotel some months later to thank us. It was great. Most of those calls didn't end well, so having one who survived and came back to say hey was nice. I was in housekeeping for a while in the winter and a co-worker of mine found a poop in a condom tied to the microwave door. Definitely the most baffling thing I'd heard of anyone finding. Pizza, and not just like leftovers. An entire pizza, and not a single slice of it in the box. The first red flag we found was the slice of pizza smeared all over on the TV. Then we saw 2 slices side by side like they had worn them for slippers and dragged their feet across the floor. 1 slice in the dresser, 1 in the nightstand, 1 in the sheets, and 1 in the bathroom sink. We cleaned the room as normal and put all the pizza in the box. The whole time I'm wondering why someone would do this. Was the pizza not good? Was 1 slice enough and you had to buy the whole thing? I'm doing the final checks in the room and it still smells like pizza. I flick the lamp on and look for the final slice. I finally find it, shadowed in the lampshade. This individual had smeared the last slice on the inside of the lampshade. That was the final piece of the puzzle, or pizzazool. This person bought an entire pizza just to hide it in his hotel room. Final pizza the puzzle. A dead body. Someone ended up killing themselves in the hotel room by hanging themselves in the closet. Was in there a few days before we found him. Dead bodies and crap seem to be the winning themes. 2 worst experiences I had to witness were, a couple came to the desk early in the AM. They clearly had been in an all-out fist fight. They were a cash-paying customer and all they said was, "Sorry, we got in a fight. There is blood in the room. We are HIV positive." Then they took off. Room was an absolute horror show. Had to hire special cleaners to come gut the room and ended up replacing basically everything in the room. Room was up for almost a year. Same hotel. We had some wards of the state types staying. Worst were a couple with a newborn. They couldn't afford basically anything, so made the decision to use our towels as diapers. The state wouldn't let us kick them out and they were just taking the towels off the carts. Ended up having to evict them from the hotel as they had been there long enough to establish residency. I'm actually impressed they came to the desk and said sorry, as well as telling you the blood was HIV positive. Someone pooped in the nightstand. It had been there long enough to dry out, so it took nearly an hour to scrub it clean. Another room had bloody menstrual pads stuck all over the walls at random. And my girlfriend wonders why I don't feel comfortable in a hotel room. It was a hallway. I worked the front desk. A little league baseball team was staying the night and a guest complained to my manager about bats flying around. My manager assumed the baseball team was just being rowdy and headed up to tell them to calm down. Turns out it wasn't baseball bats. Just a normal old flying bat hanging out in the hallway. A syringe under a mattress. After I felt a prick on the end of my finger, I was tucking in a sheet under the bed, and there were actually 2 uncovered insulin needles under there. I got rushed to hospital, hepatitis shots and a tetanus shot, 2 different HIV prevention medication for a month, monthly blood tests for about a year. I'm fine, and it barely stuck me in truth, but I was already afraid of needles and disease. I still feel traumatized. I was not going to post at all, but I've always wondered if there was anything else I should have done. The doctors assured me that they were more precautious than necessary. Worst fear. People that have died. Feces on the walls and furniture along with vomit, drug paraphernalia, drugs, and once a gun. Feces and vomit is the worst though. Sorry, that was a bad night for me. I hope my generous tip of $3 and the leftover pizza made up for it. Worked at an upscale ski resort. One family let their toilet training kid pee behind the toilet and under the sink throughout their whole visit. Then put our white towels on top of it to help clean up the mess. Whole place smelled like a freaking rhino enclosure. Ruined the towels. Worst to clean up. Not because it was gross, but because it was annoying and time consuming, was popcorn. A baseball team stayed in a couple rooms and I guess they had those like caramel popcorn balls that they had just thrown all over the room, at the walls, furniture. It stuck to the carpet and was almost impossible to vacuum. Popcorn everywhere. Doesn't sound that bad, with caramel, and there it is. I do hotel renovations, so we find anything the housekeepers have forgotten over the years. Most often we find dirty magazines, clothing, children's toys, sometimes drugs in super random places. Lol. Not a hotel worker, but once stayed in a resort in the Dominican where someone had crap in the safe, or I guess carried their crap to the safe. Not sure. Either way, I guess the staff hadn't checked to see if anything was in there when cleaning after the last people. I get enjoyment out of imagining someone positioning themselves to crap in a safe. A friend used to clean hotel rooms as a side job. Once he found a crap on the nightstand with a slice of cheese on top. Another time, he went into a room to clean and this woman was lying on the bed naked. He apologized and started to leave. She offered him €50 to spit on her while she masturbated. He spat on her. Easiest €50 ever. Not a bad thing, but a good thing. My friend who works in a hotel in Denver said that Warrengy left his shoes. I asked what size. She said 12. I said that's my size. So after the mandatory 30 days or whatever, she mailed me his Adidas shell toes. Whenever I wear them I regulate so hard. A blood-soaked Dora the Explorer doll. There were no kids in the room. As far as we know, it was just one dude in his mid-30s. There were 2 cans of Monster Energy drink beside it and $180 left in tips under the pillow. No idea what was going on. Had a younger couple leave bodily fluids all over the bed and wall from their fricking sponges everywhere. If I had a black light it would have lit up like a fricking rave. Not a worker, but once my family checked into our hotel and go to our room and open it up only to find a very mortified naked man sitting on the couch watching TV. Made eye contact and just backed out of there. He has the same exact name as me, so that's where the mess up came about. My ex-wife projectile vomited all over a room at the La Quinta in Somerville after way too many socos at the Rattlesnake. I cannot drive 93 northbound out of Boston without some degree of shame. Sorry, La Quinta workers. I did the best I could, but there was only so much that could be done. Also, this is one of the many reasons she is now my ex-wife. Oh god, I stayed in that exact hotel last year. I hope I didn't get your room. I was road tripping alone and decided to support the local economy of this small town I was stopping in and stay in a small family-owned motel instead of a chain. It was obviously infested with bedbugs. Obvious. The next morning, that is, I arrived late at night and went straight to bed. The worst thing was that I was moving myself out to college and had all of my worldly possessions in the car with me. All of my clothing, all of my bedding, the few pieces of furniture I was bringing. Fortunately, isolating everything that had been in that room in trash bags and buying bedbug spray immediately prevented it from infesting everything I owned. But all the time I spent anticipating the worst got me hugely stressed out. A trick for bedbugs: If you live in a hot climate, leave everything in your car for a few days. Car interiors regularly get up to 120 F, which is hot enough to kill bed bugs and their eggs. A guest, so overlooked by staff. Burnt incense ends, red candle wax and blood in the headboard and side table. Gross and weird. My girlfriend worked front desk at a hotel that was connected to a hospital, so they frequently had visiting outpatients staying there. One day a lady came down and was clearly disoriented. She ripped out her tracheotomy in the lobby. They rushed her over to the hospital, got her fixed up, sent her back to her room, and then she came downstairs and did it again. One of the worst shifts she ever had. I've posted this before, but here's my story. I used to work at a hotel as a housekeeper. The rule was when you finished all of your rooms you had to go help the other housekeepers, cause they like to go slow to get more hours and we just can't allow that. Anyways, so I wander up to the second floor down at the far end, room 226, a double queen. The room hadn't been stripped yet, the bedding and trash is still in there, and I thought that was odd because normally we have all of the rooms stripped by noon and it was 3 PM. Well, I opened the door and this overwhelming stench of crap just slams into my face. Not even like normal crap smell either, like someone had been devouring hot sauce covered shrimp at an all-you-can-eat buffet for 3 days. I pull my shirt collar up over my nose. It can't be that bad. They probably just didn't flush, right? I press on into the bathroom, eyes beginning to water, my throat having dry involuntary seizures. I force my poor eyes open. Nothing. The freaking bathroom is spotless. Oh god, where is it? The panic sets in. I must go further into the darkness. I must cross the hotel room and open the window. As light illuminates the room, I can finally see what the crap demon has done. Do you remember the scene from Dogma, where the crap demon comes out of the toilet? I think he left there and checked right on into my hotel. Crap was smeared all over the white duvets and sheets on both beds. This dude had literally crap himself smeared it in the bed. Switched beds, and crap in that one too. He left a trail of sickly brown matter across the carpet, decorated with tiny surprise crap nuggets just for me. I noped. I told front desk that I absolutely refused to clean that room, and if they wanted to write me up, fire me, I would be fine with that. Friend used to be a general manager. There was a guest who had stayed there for a few days but kept the do not disturb sign up, not letting anyone in. Well, after 3 days they had to go in to clean the room and do a welfare check, and they found this chick tied up to the bed with a camera on her. Some guy had kept her tied up for 3 days straight and was live streaming it somewhere. I once cleaned a stay over during an anime convention. Found a bunch of anime girl plush dolls and a tail butt plug in the half-made bed, and what I fondly referred to as a family-size bottle of lube with a lotion pump just chilling on the nightstand. I'm into anime, so it wasn't a surprise for me, but I could only imagine literally any one of my older co-workers finding that. Worst ever one I can remember is when there was a Christmas party or wedding or something going on where people got extremely drunk, and one particular gentleman, upon checking out, said he had a lovely stay and left fairly quickly without any free breakfast or anything. Now when the housekeeping went in, they were met with the most god-awful smell. I think someone described it as the smell of sewers mixed with the smell of the bin lorry on a high summer's day, but could not find the source. That is until they whipped off the duvet to be faced with the bed absolutely covered in diarrhea. When I say covered, I mean covered, and the man tried to hide it with a duvet cover. It was so bad it had leaked through the sheets, mattress protectors, and most of the way through the mattress. It was sickening. This lovely gentleman thought he could get away with that without a word, but luckily we take contact details and a credit card on check-in. Let's just say it was a bloody awkward phone call I had to make. I worked as a front desk receptionist for about a year at a small hotel in a small town. Apparently, sometime before my shift, 2 underage teenagers had gotten the room. Early in the morning around breakfast time, we got a complaint from someone in a neighboring room about the TV being on extremely loud. Almost at the same time, police cars started pulling up, followed by EMTs. I guess the teenagers planned to rent the room and kill themselves so their families wouldn't be the ones to find the bodies. But when one had slit their wrists and it wouldn't stop, the other called an ambulance in a fit of panic. I was told they would both recover and most likely be put into therapy, but that was the last I heard of it, as I only stayed a few weeks after that. You have been visited by the IT lizard. upvote or experience bad internet for a month. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.